Let's move on to a fight this weekend where Dennis Hogan will fight for the WBO Intercontinental Super Welterweight title and the WBO Oriental Super Welterweight title in Australia at the Convention and Exhibition Centre in Brisbane. We can say good morning / good night to you, Dennis Hogan. What time of the world is it where you are?
It's 6:15 here in the evening, so we're just about wrapping it up.
How are you getting on?
Mate, very good, very good. We had the press conference today. Jimmy Kelly and his team are here. Everything's sorted and everything's ready to go. So exciting times ahead.
Dennis, how are you doing? It's Andy Lee.
Andy, how you going, mate?
He's been doing a lot of yeah, good to see you. He's been doing a lot of smack talk, Jimmy Kelly, and just tell the people what kind of stuff he's been saying about you, and what do you think about it?
Well, to be honest with you, mate, I thought he was trying to get under my skin, and I thought that was the idea of it. And like I even said today at the press conference, mate, he went as quiet as a mouse. He had nothing to say face to face, really. Him or his team, they completely backtracked on everything that was being said. And I gave him the opportunity to speak, and he didn't really. And then it was a little bit confusing, because I was like, I thought you guys were here to move mountains and say all the stuff that they were saying, but they completely quietened up, and they were actually quite humble there and then. So it was a little bit confusing to me, but I think it says a lot in itself. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to go, and all the talking has all been done, and it just goes to show that those guys were just talking for a bit of bravado. I don't know if they thought they were getting into my head or not, but it certainly didn't work anyway. So maybe they seen that today.
Yeah, some empty. It seemed to me like listening to it, it was kind of empty words and just some ploy just to get under your skin and get you riled up. But you put them in their place today, it seems. And how's this training been going? You've been training in Queensland with one fellow champion Jeff Hawn. How's the training been going? Have you been sparring together? How's the work been?
Really good. So this has been a perfect camp. This is like for the last camp I had a bit of an injury. I missed a good bit of sparring there near the end, but this time we got all the work done. I had 12 weeks. I knew about this fight 12 weeks out, so everything's been great. Myself, as Jeff was training for Terence Crawford, and until that got postponed, we were only within a week of each other. So we got lots of rounds. We were up to sparring 10 rounds with each other and mixing it with other guys as well, and everything was coming together beautifully. Unfortunately for Jeff, obviously the fight got postponed, but it put me in great stead to finish off camp, finish off with other guys coming in fresh for 12 rounds. And I'm ready to go. But there's been a great vibe in the camp. It's been an excellent environment to train in, and the gym is buzzing at the minute. And you'll know yourself, Andy, being in a great gym with a great environment, it just pushes each other. And I've certainly seen that in myself. And I'm just looking forward to just putting it all together now on fight night.
Yeah, certainly. This is a world title. For people who don't know, this is a world title eliminator. So the winner of this fight will fight the winner of Saddam Ali and the winner versus Liam Smith. You've been to the world once before. You fought for a world title before in 2015 against Jack Culkay. You just came up short that night. Very close fight. What have you learned from that? That defeat. How can that help you going into this fight?
Well, there's a saying here in Australia, and that's to win a grand final, you got to be in a grand final. And when after that fight, the world title, I knew I came away with so much. The main thing being that, I come the 12th round, I was actually still lots of full of energy. I thought midway through, because that fight was postponed, and I thought I definitely was getting fatigued and a little bit burnt out as I kept training. But even though I had fatigued and come back through that, travelling to Germany and back to Australia and back to Germany, I still, at the end of it, I had more to give. And what I learned from that was you can always give 100%. So the main thing that I learned was don't give your opponent an inch, ever. Just keep your foot on his throat and just keep going for him. And I've kept that mentality the last couple of fights, and I've just gained more and more and more. So the next time I get in there won't be a second off. It's just constantly foot on the throat and keep that pressure on, because in the gym I've been doing phenomenal work. I've been getting up great work rates, and I've been breaking down a couple of people within 12 round spars when they're coming in fresh. So that's the main thing I've taken away on top of other stuff. So
yeah. And not to look too far ahead or look past Jimmy Kelly, out of Ali and Smith, how do you see that fight going? And would you have a preference of fighting one of them if you were to fight one of them?
I did originally fancy fighting Liam Smith anyway, because I think his footwork. I think I could completely outwork him with footwork and beat him with that alone. But I mean, he's got lots of great attributes too. Saddam Ali, I didn't see his fight with Cotto, but I did see him fighting in the Barclays Centre in New York one time, and I didn't, think that much either. To be honest with you, I still would rather Liam Smith. I would rather that fight, and I do hope Liam comes through with that. And I think it'd be easier to make a deal with Liam Smith anyway. We were already in talks with him a little bit anyway. So that's the way I see it. Look, Saddam Ali, he's done very well to beat Cotto, I think. And I don't know what mentality Cotto came in with, knowing it was his last fight and not winning. But certainly says a lot about Ali, and obviously Liam's been champion before. So, either way, to be honest with you, I take either one of them anyway. I have no problem fighting either one, but probably Liam, I suppose.
Dennis, how did you end up in Brisbane?
Originally, boxed on an Irish team out in Australia, and I was just I was actually on a pro-am show, and the coach, one of the coaches there said, look, if you ever want to fight professionally, come back around here and we'll get you set up and whatever else. So back in Ireland, when it was time for me to go professional, I felt there was nothing happening. Recession had hit, there was no shows, and I said I'd come out here and get a fight. I had a little bit of an offer in Boston, and I said I might work my way back around, but I knew it was coming close to the end of the year, and I knew I could get a start for St. Patrick's Day. So I came out to Brisbane, and did get my start then early in 2011, and just from then I built some great relationships, and here I still am 7 years later. So
it's funny, 33 is an age where a lot of boxers are considered to be, probably less now, but certainly a decade ago people would have said 33 is the wrong side. At the moment it seems like 33 isn't the worst age to be when it comes to just having the ring craft and the experience. But are you a little bit behind maybe where you thought you would be when you were starting out as a pro?
I certainly could have taken bigger leaps, I believe. But it wasn't to be. My management at the time made all the decisions, and I rolled along with it. And maybe I believed that I might have been a little bit of a cash cow under the situation I was in. But I'm kind of under my own stuff now. I'm with DDP Promotions, and we've got a great team here, got a great coach here now, and we're just looking to fight world-rated fighters and get to the world title. So once you put your intent and what you want, you work towards it. It's sort of come together, and here I am now fighting my second world-rated fighter in a row. So with all that behind me, I'm just thinking about going forward and winning a world title and going forward. But at 33, to be honest with you, I've never been this fit in my whole life. I didn't like. If you look at Andy, I suppose I remember Andy always being up there with Irish boxing in the amateurs and at the Olympics and that. I didn't go that hard at it at that younger age, and I kind of went harder at it now the last couple of years. So I still kind of feel fresh, to be honest with you, and I still think I've got 3 or 4 of my best years still left in me. So I don't know. I just roll with that anyway. I'm still feeling good and enjoying it.
You mentioned your coach, Glenn Rushton. What kind of coach is he, and how does he compare to other coaches you would have worked with?
To be honest with you, mate, Glenn's come from a martial arts background, and it's just it's a different mentality from what I've seen in boxing gyms before. But there's a lot of mentoring going on as well as just the work, working on certain drills, and it's not just work till you get it right. It's work till you don't get it wrong. You know what I mean? And that's the sort of stuff we've adapted here. The mentality, the psychology of it, it's all science-based stuff. This is the way we look at it, and I've had something here that I haven't seen before in any other with any other gym, and that's that I feel like I can see stuff happening on a weekly basis. I can see myself getting better at stuff at a very fast rate, and it just excites me so much and gives me so much confidence that you keep coming back for more. And once I started in this gym January last year, I really just spent so much time up here. It's like a second home, to be honest.
Do you see yourself staying in Australia? It's obviously worked out for you. The lifestyle clearly suits you. The opportunities are right there. Or is a move back to this part of the world in your future, no matter what happens? What's the story? What do you think?
Man, I love it in Australia, and for the foreseeable future, I'm here to stay. My goal was always to win a world title and come back and defend it in the Tree Arena in Dublin, and that was my goal leaving Ireland, and I still have that in my head, and that's the plan. But I do love it here in Australia. I've built a life for myself here. I have an Australian daughter, and mate, the people here are lovely, and I've settled right in. So, yeah, for now, I'm happy.
Dennis, having your first daughter, congratulations, 6-month-old. How has that affected you? Do you think it's affected you? Are you using that to motivate yourself, or how has that affected you in terms of just practicality and training and getting time to go to the gym, and your mindset? How has that affected your mindset going into a fight?
To be honest with you, I've got so much motivation already, and then when this girl came along, I didn't even notice it. It's like I have more energy. Something's come over me that I've been able to put more in, and I didn't even think that more was there to begin with. So it's definitely come over me. I just you know, I don't know, in training camp, you know how stringent those things are and stuff, but having a daughter to come home to every night, it just makes it a lot more, I don't know, it just fits, it feels right, it feels good, and it gives me more motivation and energy to come in every day and give more. When you think about setting her up for life and giving her a good future, but not just that, just for her to see that her dad, you know, stopped at nothing to achieve his goals, and that I think is going to be a valuable lesson, and that's what I want to provide for her. So
for people who don't know, Dennis is probably one of the hardest working boxers. He's got a reputation for being so to say you have even more energy, I mean something. Dennis, your fight is being streamed all over the world. Is it Epicenter TV? Is that where people can watch it? Where can people log on to watch it live?
Epicenter TV. All you have to do is go on, just log on, and it's all there for you. You'll see it. It's easy to use, free all around the world, and it's great exposure. Yeah.
We'll tweet a link to it as well. Listen, best of luck, man. Knock him out this weekend.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All the best, Dennis.
Thanks.
It's some story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great story. As he said himself, he was never really a heralded amateur, you know, but I didn't want to mention that, but he spoke about, you know, before he would have been quite fond of having a drink or two when he was younger, and when he was training, like as an amateur, he wouldn't have been fully focused. As an amateur, he fought as a light heavyweight. You know, he fought Kenneth Egan a few times, and now he's fighting as a light middleweight as a 33-year-old.
Yeah.
And I think that just
he's
goes to show
there,
you
like
the
he's
change.
gone.
Yeah, you can see he's in fight shape. It shows you the change in his lifestyle and his mentality, and kind of rededication or a new dedication really into boxing, and he's reaping the benefits. And this is a very winnable fight for him against Jimmy Kelly.
Is it? Yeah.
On paper it's 50-50, and you probably have some tough moments in there, but it's a very winnable fight for him, and he'll be the #1 contender then in the world.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great story to go over there and to make a life. It's the traditional immigrant story, isn't it? You know, you leave Ireland and with a dream, and you know, a bag on your back, and you go out to make
fresh.
it. Yeah, and you try to make it whatever country traditionally was America, but now it seems Australia and other places.
It's a great endorsement for him that somebody like Jeff Horn has taken him under his wing to a certain extent, and they're sparring partners.
Yeah, well, only up to recently, Jeff Horn would have been a similar type of level. You know, Dennis Hogan would have been a higher profile fighter than Jeff Horn, just that he kind of got that fight with Pacquiao and kind of took his chance. Yeah. Like interested in the trainer Jeff Rushton, because just seeing a few clips of him, he speaks about the mental approach and how they're improving and the kind of work they do. So it was interesting to hear that he comes from a martial arts background, and that it's probably bringing a different perspective, something that, you know, a fresh approach that Dennis wouldn't have seen, or been sick of looking at the same thing for many years and hearing the same things for many years.